Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Everyday EDC. My name is Tyler, and the reason for my hesitation on that intro was because I was going to try to do something like you see in those British films where they're like, welcome to another episode of Everyday EDC. Today we are explaining our failures in life. And that's pretty much what I'm doing today. I'm going to explain a failure that we had. The reason why we are going to do this is, well, I hope you guys find some entertainment out of it. If you're looking for this for knowledge other than don't be dumb, click to the next video. I'm going to start also putting disclaimers on my videos, letting everybody who's about to watch these know I cuss and use a lot of profanity, which is kind of a redundant statement, a lot. It's not for any other reason other than that's just, I work in a mill, was in the Navy. It's just kind of part of me. It's the way that I talk, and I'm going to talk normal to the audience. All right, so those of you who don't want to deal with profanity, no offense, you can feel free to stay, but if you are going to get offended, I've given you this forewarning, and that's going to happen in every video. Moving on. So, my failure yesterday. As you guys know, I try to carry a knife for a good period of time to really get an idea of the knife itself. Now, lately, I have been carrying a couple different ones, and one of them being the CJRB Mangrove. This isn't the Mangroves review, but that is soon to come too. And I apologize if there's any sound in the background. I got dogs and a kid. They might be a little excited, but, you know, if it gets too overbearing, just leave it in the comments, and I'll make sure I don't do this like this anymore. Well, back to the story. So on my way home from work, my wife texts me, and she tells me, hey, stop by Menards, pick up some blinds that I picked up. We're replacing the ones in our son's room. So I said, all right. So I pick up these blinds. I go home, pull them out of the box, mount them right up into the brackets that were already up there. Worked out fine. Bing, bang, boom. Problem is, when the blinds got lowered, they were only about 4 to 5 inches. Well, they were about 4 to 5 inches too short, right? So there was some window showing, and you go through that moment of, should we make this work? And it's like, no, that's stupid. Why are we making this work? So I go to take them off. These window clips that are on there, where the bracket mounts, they have little clips where they flip down, and then a little metal piece goes in a hole, and it locks into place on both sides. Well, after I locked them in, I apparently locked them in pretty damn well to the point where I could not get it with my fingers. I couldn't pop them off, and I was like, okay. So I have my Mangrove in my pocket, and I'm like, you know what? This should be all right. I really don't like this knife anyways. Not a spoiler, by the way. Stick around. I really don't like this knife anyways. I'll pry with it. I don't give a shit. Fuck it. So, I think I might have even chipped it last night. I don't know if you can see it. But, so I pop it in the first one. Well, before I get to the rest of the story, let me preface this story with a little short story of, because I am trying to review the Mangrove, and I'm trying to give it as much of a chance as possible, I actually resharpened it last night. Not really resharpened it. I took a little bit of it to a fine stone, and then I took some 0.5 milligram stropping compound with a strop, and I brought it back to life. Used it to kind of cut up some corn and stuff, get ready for the dinner that we had. So this thing's nice and sharp. Back to the story. So I take the knife and I pop the one clip off. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do that. I feel like I'm putting too much pressure to get it done, but this side's too fat to fit in there, so of course I had to use the blade side, the sharpened side. So I pop it into the other clip, holding it with my left hand, holding the top of the clip with my right hand, and I'm prying like this, but I'm pushing out as I'm doing it. So how stupid does this look right here? Well, when you're up in the air, you don't really see it. You're just trying to get it done. You don't think anything's going to happen to you. This is what happened to me. This is what friggin' happened to me. So I pop it off, and with all the force, it comes out and right into my hand. Sure shit, I had just sharpened this knife, so ironically enough, and this is kind of the comical part of this, even my son's laughing at me. I don't think he knows what the hell he's saying. The ironic part of this is, first of all, you could tell this is, thanks to Justin, I had to look up what this blade was. It's a Nessmuk, or I don't know if I'm saying it right. And he referenced that it might have been like a Native American thing. Well, I found a guy, I forgot his name, but he pretty much wrote the book on wood crafting and camping and stuff like that. He literally wrote a book that's still being out there. But his nickname was Nessmuk, and he carried a knife that looked like this. I'll get into that in the review. I don't have too much more information. But anyways, so the Nesmux design is it protrudes a little bit more here, but it's a little bit more recessed here. I wouldn't call it quite a recurve, but you know, it's not really a recurve at all. But so as this, you can tell which one was which. The fat part hit my hand right here, and this part still kept going. It went so deep into this fat part that the skinnier part, or the more shallow part, cut me right here. And there was something about that moment that I was like, you know what? I actually like this knife now, which is the most ironic thing to say. But the funniest part about it is that literally went through my mind. The second thing that went through my mind was, God damn it, my wife is going to beat my ass, right? Not because she's an overbearing lady or anything like that, but she grew up in a family where when you get hurt, you kind of brush it off. It's no big deal, despite what the injury is. So I'm bleeding, and I'm not bleeding all over the place. I ran and got some paper towel, and I stuff it here. But if she would have seen it, all it would have done was, I feel like I would have been grounded from knives from my wife, which would have been kind of funny. But so, you know, I'm trying to knock it out before she sees anything. So I cover it, and I realize how deep this thing is. Like, it doesn't look that bad on camera, and it's not that bad. But this sucker on this side is pretty deep. I would say about 1/8 of an inch. It's pretty good. But she so I got the paper towel on there, and it's bleeding all over the place. Not all over the place, but it's bleeding a lot. And I do kind of the typical guy thing. I hold my hand in the air, grip my wrist to try and cut off some circulation. And then what do? I take super glue and just... let me tell you guys, if you guys ever cut yourselves and you're not really sure what to do, you don't feel like going in for stitches, use super glue. I can't stress that enough. You have to make sure you're not bleeding anymore or you're stopping the blood as much as possible. But for some reason, blood and super glue coagulate. Now, am I giving you medical advice? Shouldn't. Probably can be interpreted as that. I hold no liabilities for what you do. I'm not recommending that you do this over going to the hospital, but what I'm saying is a super glue will coagulate with your blood really quickly to stop this. Then you have to deal with the aftermath of peeling off the super glue, you know, a day later or whatever. But put that into perspective. This happened last night at like 8 o'clock at night. It is currently 4 o'clock in the afternoon the next day. So after doing that, I grab my magic eraser, whatever was in front of me, take my CJRB mangrove, cut a little sliver of this sucker off, put it over the top, wrapped it up with just some tape, and we're good to go. But the moral of the story here is the tool that I should have been using, either a pry bar or better yet, maybe a pair of pliers, which I was too lazy to take the 30 seconds to go and grab, and ended up resulting in this. Just sheer annoyance, really. It kind of fucks up anything you're trying to do. I had to walk around work with, you know, it wrapped up so it doesn't get dirty or anything like that. And anyways, yeah, that's the stupidity. What I would like us to do from this point on with this video, if you guys took the time to watch this video, first and foremost, thank you. If you took the time to watch it, I'm fairly certain that everybody has had an experience like this. And I'm curious about those experiences. I was talking to a guy named Elijah in one of the comments on the Proelia, and he mentioned that he cut himself pretty good at work and had to replace a carpet and everything else like that. So what I would like to see is anybody who watches this video, who actually watches it to the end, put in the comments, give us your short story about the dumbest fucking thing you did with a knife that caused you something like this. Now, I have plenty of these stories. I am going to label this series EDC life failures. That's what we're going to do. And every time I do this, I'm going to make a video. I have another one where you guys all know the story, kind of, where I lopped off part of my thumb. And just doing dumb shit. Like, I never hurt myself doing normal stuff. It's always doing something you are not supposed to be doing. Pry bar and moving the sharp edge towards yourself. Not supposed to be doing that, right? Yeah. Leave me your story. I would love to read it. I'm sure everybody else who watches this would. I think it's a hilarious conglomerate of things, and I think we can all appreciate it. Maybe one day I'll take all the stories, kind of put them all together, and just read them out, you know, so that everybody can kind of hear and share in the comical situations where we all hurt ourselves, lost a thumb, lost a finger, whatever the case is, from being stupid. Yes, it sucks. I don't advocate any of that, but you know, you can always look back and laugh at this shit. So that's my story. And I'm sticking to it. This has been Everyday EDC. Guys, stay sharp, stay safe, Be respectful to one another. Wear your fucking mask so we can get over this stupid COVID shit. And never cut towards yourself or use your knife as a pry bar, especially on the sharp edge. Have a great day.